All right, welcome back to the shop. We're gonna get started on doing the battery overhaul video. So this will be the first part of it. We're just gonna talk about like what tools you need. You're gonna need, first of all, supply-wise, you're gonna need your battery cells. Okay, try to get the ones without the post on the end there. I ordered these and then realized they had them. I'm still gonna make them work. So try and get the ones without, but we'll make these work. They're still the right length and just might be a little more challenging to spot weld onto the end there. All right, so what you're going to need for this, you're going to need obviously a bad battery. You're going to need your number T10 safety bit with the hole in the end. You'll also need a T9. Okay, I have this Harbor Freight set. To get, there's a screw, if you can see it right in there. There's two of them underneath the other one's underneath in the back here. So you'll need that. You'll need a screwdriver to disconnect the screws from the circuit board. And then you'll also need a soldering iron. There's my 30-plus-year-old Radio Shack. Some of you probably don't even know what Radio Shack is, but that's okay. This baby's been kicking for a long time, along with wow, this is probably almost 40 years old, Snap-on digital multimeter, which it still works really well. And you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, small Phillips head, to get the screws out of the circuit board. Okay, probably already just said that. And the soldering iron is basically just to take, you can nip these off, but it's better just to like heat them up, pull the solder off on all the joints, and then you can solder it back on when you're done. There's also a thermistor right here to monitor battery temperature. When you peel that off, make sure you put it back on where it goes. Don't damage it. Also, when you're putting it back together, you can either reuse these strips. I'll show you how to take them off, and with a small flathead screwdriver. That's another tool you'll need. I'll list that in the description. And then, of course, you will need your handy dandy spot welder. Okay, pick this one up off of either Amazon or Temu. I don't remember. I think it was Amazon. But yep, I'm going to charge this up, test it out. It also comes with some spare nickel strips, but just be very careful. Make sure you're maintaining the correct polarity when you're taking these apart. Okay, these batteries, the new ones, will have positive and negative on them. See right there. Make sure you get make sure you don't intermix them. So make sure you buy a set that is the correct amp hour. Okay. Again, this was a 1.5 amp hour, and we are turning it into a 3 amp hour battery by upgrading the batteries, all the cells. So hopefully that will work with the charger. I think it shouldn't have any effect on it, but we will see. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Next thing we'll do is we'll get into desoldering all the ends here, pull the circuit board off, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we got it this far apart. Got the circuit board unsoldered there. Got the thermistor taken off, and we just kind of broke a couple of these tabs, just popping them off. Okay, don't worry about those. If they break, you can just solder on some new ones or spot weld on some new ones. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to take out these two screws and split the case in half. Get out of the way, just bend it out of the way. It's not going to hurt it. Pretty much not going to hurt anything doing this. All right, get those mostly loosened up, and then go ahead and get your screwdriver. Start taking out all these spot welds, and then you can split the case. So just to take the spot welds out, you just literally just need to get underneath them, start working it around. It'll eventually pop loose. You can also grab a pair of pliers and pull on them. Most of the time you don't need to. You just give it a good little pop. There it goes. So do all those, and then we'll get to the next portion, which is to go ahead and split the case and take all the cells out. All right, so once you get all of the spot welds broke, then you take those two screws out, and then you just pop it apart. And then from there, you're just going to go ahead and take the cells out. And remember the orientation of the cells, okay? Look at them. On these cells, that is the positive. So that was in this way. So which means I will take this one with the positive and put it right back in there, okay? And then this one's probably going to be negative. So it's going to be positive, negative, positive, negative. It's just normal circuit there. So go ahead and you can get all those cells changed out, and then we'll go ahead and we'll screw the case back together. And then next step will be to reconnect all the batteries and then put everything back together. So this is not that difficult, but be very careful when you're working with these lithium batteries, okay? If you think that it's beyond your skill level, then just don't do it. It's fine. You just get a new battery, or you can take it in a place like Batteries Plus, and they'll pretty much do the same thing I'm doing here. But yeah, it's not that difficult if you just take your time, make sure you get everything exactly correct, get your same size batteries, and yeah, just that's it. All right, I got all the batteries back in the case. I got the case together, and I just took, I had an extra T9 that I took out. It's a little easier to work with than trying to use that big gangly, group of them all attached together. So to make sure you get that in there, get it nice and tight. Kind of weird looking through the camera to do this, but that's what I got to do. All right. Now it's going to be a little bit before we get to the next point, but through the miracle of modern science, it will seem like a minute, but it will probably be next day by the time we get to the soldering portion, or the spot weld portion of it, because I have to wait for the spot welder to charge. So that's going to do it for now. Next up, we'll get this all soldered back together, and then we'll test it out. All right, so I got it all put back together. Let's see if those solder joints hold. But yeah, everything's spot welded back together. I learned a few lessons here on how to do this, which is good. Maybe it'll make the next one a little easier. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this into the case, and I'm going to pop it into the charger and see how it works. All right, now for the moment of truth. I just assembled it quickly just to see if we can put it in the charger and see if it charges. If you remember last time, it just blinked and went to the defective mode. So let's pop her in there and see what we got. Okay, it's testing, and there it goes. It's charging. So just like that, we just rebuilt that battery, saved about 80 bucks. A little bit of time, a little bit of ingenuity. There's nothing you can't do. So, yeah. Some basic hand tools, a relatively inexpensive spot welder, some nickel strips, my favorite word, and there you have it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications. Again, if you have any questions on anything, just give me a comment and I'll be sure to answer it. All right. Thanks. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate the support, and small channels needed. So trying to get to 1,000 subs to spread the word. Thanks.